Sacrifice 2012 pay-per-view review. The pay-per-view swamp there a little while ago as far as my thoughts on this show from TNA. I thought this was a very good show from TNA. Definitely one of their better shows in a little while. Now, going into this show, my expectations were fairly low for this. Even though you had a pretty good card going into this pay-per-view, but there's been a lot of TNA pay-per-views where you've had a pretty good card. Yeah, and I've expected it to be a very good show from TNA, and they just did not deliver. This was actually one of those times where you had a good show in this. My expectations were pretty low for it, and it beat my expectations a lot. I didn't expect it to be as good of a show as it turned out to be. You had 4 very good matches on the show with Mr. Anderson and Jeff Hardy having a really good match with each other. Them two have very good chemistry, so I kind of expected them to have a good match. The only downturn of their match was the ending that kind of came out of nowhere. But other than that, Mr. Anderson and Jeff Hardy had a really good match with each other. Easily the match of the night was Bully Ray versus Austin Aries. Really enjoyed this match. One match on the show that I would say everyone needs to check out. Really enjoyed the whole match. Angle and AJ Styles have yet again another good match with each other, which whenever you put Angle and AJ Styles in there with each other, they tend to always have a good match. So that right there, I expected that to be very good, and it turned out to be what it was. And then the main event with Bobby Roode and RVD for the TNA title in the ladder match actually was a really good ladder match. The only part that really hurt it was the ending of it. Obviously, if the match would have went through the way they probably planned it instead of the ending, what happened with RVD, he was going for a springboard onto the ladder with Bobby Roode on there, tried to catch himself on the ladder, but his leg got caught up and the ladder fell down. RVD's just real lucky here that obviously since he was able to get up post-match, that he didn't break his leg or anything. Thankfully that didn't happen. And at the worst, RVD's probably got a sprained ankle or tweaked his knee here or something. And then obviously because of that happening, they kind of just rushed to an ending where Roode could just retain the title. And then RVD tries to climb up the ladder. Roode knocks him down. Back of RVD's head hits steel chair, and that's the end of that match right there. But even with the ending of the match, I thought it was a really good ladder match because RVD is one of those guys I'm a huge fan of. But ever since he's been in TNA, he just feels like it just seems like he's been going through the motions. He hasn't been that motivated. This was actually one of those matches where he was very motivated. He was going in there, doing everything, looked like his old self. Really enjoyed it a lot. And then that one part at the end where his leg had to get caught up, and obviously that hurt the match right there. But other than that, it was a good ladder match with them too. So those 4 matches, like I said, were really good. Especially the Bully Ray and Aries match and the AJ Styles and Kurt Angle match. And he actually had a pretty solid opener on this pay-per-view as well. The women's match wasn't too bad. Really, you only had 2 matches on this pay-per-view I could have dealt without, which from some TNA pay-per-views, that's saying a lot right there. That there's only 2 matches I could have dealt without, and that was the TV title match I could have dealt without, and Premis's match with Eric Young, which was the one match I thought was the worst thing on there. Even the TV title match was probably a little better, but not much. But let me get into my review. First matchup was for the TNA Tag Team titles. This was Kazarian and Christopher Daniels teaming up to take on Samoa Joe and Magnus, the defending tag team champions. This is actually a pretty solid opener. You saw some really good stuff in this match with Christopher Daniels and Samoa Joe. Really enjoyed that stuff. Magnus did some good mat action in this match. Mat work in here as well. Kazarian got in his stuff. Just everyone did what they needed to do in this match. Just solid opener. The crowd was into it. Samoa Joe and Magnus, they go for their snap mirror elbow combo. They hit it on Christopher Daniels. Magnus goes for the pin. Kazarian breaks it up. And then Kazarian and Daniels wins this match by pinning Magnus after they hit basically their variation of the ECW team, the Eliminators move, the lowdown. They hit that on Magnus for the win to win the tag team titles. About a 2.5-star match, fairly solid opener. Next matchup was Brooke Tessmacher versus Gail for the Knockouts title. This actually wasn't that bad of a women's match. I'm a huge fan of Gail, like everyone already knows. Brooke Tessmacher, I actually don't like her that much, but it does seem like, like other than some women's wrestlers in WWE and TNA, that are just in there for reasons because of their looks. It actually seems like Brooke Tessmacher's at least trying to, become a good women's wrestler. She's at least putting the effort in, so I kind of respect that with her. And she's not actually that bad considering, she hasn't wrestled that long. So she didn't do too bad in this match. Gail Kim wins this match when she basically cheats to win this match when the referee didn't see. Uses the ropes for leverage with her feet on the ropes for leverage to retain the Knockouts title. So obviously this Brooke Tessmacher versus Gail Kim feud will retain. About 1 3/4 star match. Fairly decent women's match. Then the next matchup was Devon versus Robbie E versus Robbie T. Triple threat for the TV title. Not much to really talk about here. Really could dealt without this match. Obviously, this match, the way it was booked, which you expected the way it was. Robbie E and Robbie T basically at the beginning of the match, were working as a team, basically a handicap match against Devon. And then when one of them wanted to pick up the victory to win the TV title, that's when dissensions in the rank happened. They started arguing with each other in the corner after basically Robbie E was saying, Robbie T, you're just in here to help me win the TV title. Robbie T wasn't having this. They were arguing with each other. Then Devon knocks Robbie T into Robbie E, rolls Robbie T up to retain the TV title. And then after the match, it looks like Robbie T and Robbie E are going to Robbie T is going to attack Robbie E. Didn't happen here. Obviously, they'll have that happen at some point with Rob Terry turning on Robbie E at some point in the future. Not much to talk about match-wise here. About 1 1/4 stars, maybe 1.5 stars at best. Then the next matchup was Jeff Hardy versus Mr. Anderson. Really enjoyed this match. Some good back and forth action. A number of good things in this match. Both of them tried to defeat each other using their finishing moves. Jeff Hardy hits the mic check. Mr. Anderson hits the twist of fate in this match. Anderson was working over Hardy's arm in this match, I guess, trying to stop him from being able to hit the twist of fate at the end of the match. These two have very good chemistry, worked very well with each other. Really enjoyed the match. The end of it kind of came out of nowhere. That was really the only downturn in this match. Jeff Hardy was basically going for his double knees, where he goes for the double knees into the midsection. Mr. Anderson blocked it and rolled through and won that way with somewhat of a quick 3 count, because it looked like Jeff Hardy's shoulders up, and Mr. Anderson does pick up the victory right there. Good match, but other than the ending, it was fairly good. I wish there would have been a better ending of the match, but Mr. Anderson and Jeff Hardy had a very good match right there. Obviously, with the ending of the match, and even the announcers playing through that, looked like a quick count. Jeff Hardy had his shoulders up. They'll obviously probably have another match on Impact coming up this week. But a good match with the two, about 3 1/4 stars. Next match was one of the things that was probably even worse than the TV title match. This was Crimson. He was coming out here basically, saying no one's back there to challenge me, and just wants the referee to ring the bell and just basically Crimson win a forfeit victory. Count by the referee counting 10. By the time the referee got to 8. Eric Young's music hit. ODB acted like he wanted to ODB acted like she wanted to challenge Crimson. Eric Young said, "No, I'm going to do it." And then you had Eric Young and Crimson, basically an impromptu challenge match right here. Which, the way Crimson is, Crimson's been going on this undefeated streak, and he's supposed to seem like this unstoppable force. This was not the best way to book this match, which you made it seem like Eric Young could possibly defeat Crimson, and it seemed like Eric Young actually seemed like I said, had a chance to win here. They should have just had Crimson completely squash him if they wanted to have his credibility risen a little more right there. So I think that was the one bad booking part right there. But obviously Eric Young's one of those guys TNA likes to book in, and the crowd likes Eric Young. They like this stuff with ODB and Eric Young, so I kind of understand why they're using him in that way in some fashion. But Crimson wins this match about 1 1/4 star, 1.5 stars, easily the worst match on the show. Then the next matchup was after the last match that I said with Crimson and Eric Young is one of the worst matches. So then you went to one of the best match of the show, which was Bully Ray versus Austin Aries. Really enjoyed this match. At the start of the match, you pretty much had Bully Ray just dominating Austin Aries in this match. Then Austin Aries tried to, use, his quickness, try to use, his quickness in this match, and, high flying stuff as well, and just, good back and forth stuff. Really enjoyed it. Then towards the end of this match, Bully Ray was getting frustrated that he could not defeat Austin Aries. He pulled out a chain. The referee stopped him. Then during this, before this, you had Abyss's alter ego, which his alter ego Joseph Parks in the crowd. He basically came through the guardrail, and Bully Ray grabbed him over there. Bully Ray attacked him, and during this time, Bully Ray was distracted. Austin Aries, hit his hit-seeking missile, dived through the rope onto Bully Ray. Then got Bully Ray into the ring, put him into the corner. Hit a drop kick in the corner, then hit the brain buster. Looked like he was going to pick up the victory there. Bully Ray kicks out there, and then Bully Ray goes towards the end when this was the end of the match. Bully Ray was trying to go for a buckle bomb, trying to power bomb Austin Aries into one of the turnbuckles. Aries reverses it into the last chancery, and Bully Ray taps out real quick. Just a really good match. One match I would highly recommend everyone to check out. 3.5 stars, maybe even 3 3/4 stars. I just really enjoyed that match a whole lot. Then the next matchup was AJ Styles versus Kurt Angle. Just like every other, AJ Styles and Kurt Angle match, you would expect these two to have a very good match, and they did not. And they did not disappoint here. Really good stuff. Really good wrestling match from the two. Good back and forth action from both of them. Got everything in. A lot of good counters, reversals. From AJ Styles trying to trying to hit the Styles Clash real early in the match. Angle reverses it into the ankle lock, and just a lot of good things like that. And Kurt Angle wins this match after towards the end of this match you saw some interference in this match with Kazarian and Christopher Daniels coming out there trying to interfere, cost AJ Styles the match. They basically inadvertently actually did cost AJ Styles the match. Angle then locks in the ankle lock into AJ at the end of the match. AJ taps out, so Kurt Angle wins this match. 3.5 stars. Then after the match, Kazarian and Christopher Daniels attack AJ, beat him down. Kurt Angle makes the save. Then they leave, and that's the end of that. Then you go to the main event, which was RVD versus Bobby Roode for the TNA title in the ladder match. Really good ladder match. Really was enjoying it a lot. They did a lot of good stuff. Obviously, with RVD, you expect to see a lot of innovative stuff with him in a ladder match, which you did see a lot of good things with him. And like I said earlier, RVD in his TNA career seems like he hasn't been fully motivated a lot of the times. This is one of those times he actually was. He was doing a lot of good stuff. This felt like the old RVD. Really just enjoyed it a lot here. Then just the only part that hurt it was the end of the match where RVD was going for a springboard, jump on the ladder spot when Bobby Roode was on there. His leg got caught. The ladder fell with his leg caught up in it, and then they just basically went to a quick finish right there with RVD. Right after that, he was basically trying to climb up the ladder with Bobby Roode, trying to get the title down, trying to basically kick the ladder. And then he tried to kick the ladder. He was climbing up. Then when he did try to climb up the back of his head, then Bobby Roode knocked him off. There was a chair in the ring. His back of his head hit the chair, and that's the end of the match. Bobby Roode grabs the title down, retains the TNA title. Good ladder match. Just the ending really did hurt it, and you could tell they just kind of rushed to a finish right there. But nonetheless, even with the finish, I would say 3 1/4 stars, because before that it was a really good ladder match. Really enjoyed it. Like I said, you had 4 pretty good matches on here. The opener was good. The women's match wasn't too bad. And like I said, those two matches, the TV title match and Curtis's match, really the only bad things on here. So this is one of those TNA pay-per-views I would definitely recommend people to check out. As far as overall rating, I'd probably give it about 7.75, maybe even an 8 out of 10. So that's it for my TNA Sacrifice 2012 pay-per-view review. All right, peace.